Something just shifted in North America. Canada opened the door to Chinese electric cars, and the prices are shockingly low. While Americans pay $80,000 for basic EVs, Canadians are seeing 700 horsepower machines, with massage seats and futuristic tech for half that. Tank turns, no rear windows, cars that shake snow off themselves. 5 models just entered the conversation, and they're rewriting the rules. Number 5, the Avatar 12 with no back window. Now picture this. You walk up to your car, and there's no rear window. Not tinted, not hidden. Gone. Just smooth metal where glass used to be. The Avatar 12 deletes the traditional back window entirely and replaces it with cameras. Instead of looking through glass, you glance at a live video feed inside the cabin. It feels less like driving a car and more like piloting something designed for orbit. The exterior leans into that futuristic energy. Thin LED light strips stretch across the front, clean and minimal. But the real conversation starter sits beneath the windshield. A halo display that can show messages to pedestrians, emojis, signals, expressions. Your car can literally communicate with people outside. That's not a design tweak. That's a new language between machine and street. Even the side mirrors are gone, replaced by compact cameras. Less drag, less wind noise, more precision. From the outside, the rear looks almost like an escape pod, complete with a pop-up spoiler. It doesn't follow convention, it abandons it. Underneath that sci-fi shell are dual motors producing 578 horsepower. It runs from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.9 seconds and delivers up to 430 miles of range. That's performance and endurance wrapped in experimental architecture. Inside, a massive 35.4-inch screen stretches across the dashboard like a digital horizon. The seats are zero gravity, reclining into positions designed to reduce fatigue, closer to a lounge chair than a traditional car seat. The glass roof is electrochromic. Press a button, and it darkens instantly, no shade required. Then there's the intelligence. Laser-based systems scan the road in real time, detecting obstacles up to 600 meters away, even in complete darkness. Construction zones, pedestrians, shifting traffic patterns. It processes all of it before you do. It doesn't just warn, it anticipates. The Avatar 12 asks a bigger question than most cars dare to. What if we stop designing vehicles around habits formed 100 years ago? No rear window, no mirrors. A car that talks. For around $42,000 in China, this isn't a concept car locked behind glass at an auto show. It's something people can actually drive. And once you've driven something that sees farther, reacts faster, and communicates better, going back starts to feel strangely primitive. Number 4, the Zeekr 001. Imagine lining up at a red light next to a supercar and realizing you're in a wagon that can beat it. The 2026 Zeekr 001 delivers over 1,000 horsepower in its top version and launches from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 2 seconds. That's hypercar speed, not luxury sedan speed, not quick for an EV speed, hypercar speed. Now, here's the part that shifts the ground beneath everything. The base model starts around $37,000 in China. For the price of a fairly ordinary SUV in North America, buyers are stepping into something that performs like a machine built for racetracks. That kind of value doesn't just compete, it destabilizes. Look at the design. The front wears sharp LED lights called claws that animate when you approach, like the car is waking up. The frameless doors open automatically at the press of a button. You sit down, press the brake, and they close themselves. A small cinematic detail that feels far more Rolls-Royce than entry-level EV. Inside, the materials don't feel cost-cut. There's a 15-inch screen that swivels toward you, a glass roof with star-like lighting overhead, a Yamaha sound system that doesn't just play music, it vibrates the seats. Both front and rear passengers get heating, cooling, and massage. This isn't stripped-down performance, it's layered comfort. Then comes the charging. The Zeekr 001 runs on an 800-volt system, charging from 10% to 80% in just 11 minutes. That's not a lunch break. That's barely enough time to stretch your legs. While many drivers still plan routes around charger reliability, This car turns charging into a quick reset. And if you choose the performance version, you get a real carbon fiber roof spoiler that creates downforce at high speeds. Not decorative carbon fiber, not visual drama, real aerodynamic function. The Zeekr 001 isn't just another electric car, it's a signal. When 1,000 horsepower, luxury interiors, and ultra-fast charging land at prices ordinary people can reach, the conversation changes. Suddenly, the future doesn't look distant. It looks parked in someone's driveway. Number 3. The BYD Yangwang U7. If the Zeekr felt disruptive and the Avatar felt futuristic, the BYD Yangwang U7 feels like a controlled explosion. This is a 1,300 horsepower luxury sedan, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.9 seconds. And it carries one of the lowest drag coefficients of any production sedan, slicing through air with surgical efficiency. It's over 17 feet long, bigger than a Tesla Model S. Yet it moves like something built for a launch runway. The front is unapologetic. Massive C-shaped LED headlights frame a face that doesn't ask for approval. Behind the front wheels, real carbon fiber air channels pull airflow cleanly along the body. Nothing ornamental. Every vent has a job. But the real magic hides beneath the floor. The U7 runs on BYD's E4 platform. 4 electric motors, 1 dedicated to each wheel. That means total independent control. It can perform a tank turn, spinning 360 degrees in place like a tracked vehicle. And if a tire blows at 75 miles per hour, the system adjusts the remaining wheels up to 1,000 times per second to keep the car stable. Not reactively, proactively. It calculates, corrects, and steadies before panic even sets in. Step inside and the aggression melts into luxury. Deep red leather stretches across the cabin. Real carbon fiber accents frame a wall of screens. Rear passengers aren't treated as afterthoughts. They get tablets to control climate, music, and massage functions. The center console extends all the way to the back, turning the cabin into something closer to a private lounge than a sports sedan. Here's what makes it more impressive. BYD didn't begin as a luxury automaker. It started as a battery company. Now it's building a 4-motor, 1,300 horsepower sedan that competes with machines costing more than twice as much. At $90,000 to $100,000 in China, it undercuts performance flagships from Europe by a staggering margin. More power, comparable luxury, a fraction of the price. The Yangwang U7 isn't trying to catch up. It's trying to redefine the benchmark. And once a battery company starts out-engineering legacy brands at their own game, the balance of power quietly begins to shift. Number 2. The Nio ET9 that shakes off snow. Now, imagine watching a 17-foot luxury sedan shake itself like a wet dog. That's not a metaphor. The Nio ET9's Skyride suspension system can literally vibrate the body of the car to remove snow. Each wheel is controlled by hydraulic pumps that adjust in just 1 millisecond. Precision so sharp it borders on surreal. To prove it, engineers stacked a 4-story tower of champagne glasses on the hood and drove over speed bumps. Not one glass fell. That's not marketing fluff. That's mechanical choreography. The ET9 runs on a 900-volt system, higher than most electric vehicles on the road today. Charging peaks at 600 kilowatts, adding 155 miles of range in just 5 minutes. That's the difference between planning your day around a charger and barely noticing you stopped. Under the surface, it produces 700 horsepower and uses steer-by-wire technology, meaning there's no physical connection between the steering wheel and the tires. It's fully digital. Add rear-wheel steering, and this nearly 17-foot executive cruiser turns tighter than you'd expect something half its size to manage. Inside, the cabin is called the Executive Bridge. It's a strict 4-seater. Rear passengers get reclining seats up to 45 degrees, a 360-degree tray table, and even a 10-liter fridge to keep drinks perfectly chilled. The wheel center caps stay upright while driving, a subtle nod to ultra-luxury tradition. But the suspension is what changes the conversation. Each wheel moves independently with microscopic control. It can stiffen, soften, tilt, or lift in real time, reading the road like Braille. That's how it glides over imperfections. and how it can shake snow off its own roof without disrupting comfort inside. At around $112,000 in China, it competes with names that traditionally dominate this space. Yet it charges faster, adjusts quicker, and behaves like a machine from a more advanced chapter of engineering. The ET9 doesn't just transport you, it recalibrates what luxury feels like. And once you've experienced a car that thinks and moves this precisely, yesterday's suspension suddenly feels like guesswork. Number 1. The Maextro S800. And now we step into something different. Not performance dominance, not experimental design. This is a direct challenge to the throne of ultra-luxury. The Maextro S800 isn't trying to compete with Tesla. It's aiming straight at the Rolls-Royce Phantom. Built through a partnership between JAC and Huawei, this nearly 18-foot sedan, 5.48 meters long, makes even a long-wheelbase Mercedes S-Class look restrained. This is China declaring it belongs at the highest table. The front grille carries vertical waterfall lines, bold and unmistakable. The headlights shimmer with thousands of tiny LEDs, creating a diamond-like glow. When you unlock it, the lighting sequence unfolds like a miniature galaxy. It doesn't just illuminate, it performs. The paint scheme, two-tone purple and silver, feels intentionally theatrical. Solid chrome wheels give it presence. The door handles feature starry touch sensors that light up as your hand approaches, turning even entry into an event. Power comes from a dual-motor setup, delivering smooth, silent acceleration with the kind of authority you'd expect from a traditional V12, minus the noise. It's expected to launch with Level 3 self-driving capability, meaning legally hands-free operation in certain conditions. The car handles traffic while you read, think, or simply breathe. Inside, reports suggest real silk carpets and an animated starry sky roof, complete with shooting stars. Huawei's Harmony OS 4 integrates the vehicle seamlessly with your phone. Calls, apps, and data flow between devices as if the car is just an extension of your digital life. Rear passengers sit in a space so expansive it feels more like a private lounge than a back seat. At a projected price between $140,000 and $200,000 in China, it undercuts traditional ultra-luxury brands dramatically. Comparable models from established names often start far higher. The Maextro S800 represents something bigger than one car. It's technology and manufacturing moving in sync. A tech giant and an automaker building as one unit instead of separate silos. And when ultra-luxury begins blending silk, software, and silent power at this scale, the question isn't whether the market will notice. It's how quickly the old guard can respond. That was the top 5. The speed of change is hard to ignore. Which one surprised you the most? Drop the answer in the comments. If $100,000 was on the table, would one of these win over a BMW or Tesla? Like the video if this changed your perspective. Share it with someone who needs to see it. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next.